Alright, hey guys, my name is Cole Robbins. I am the sales manager here at CBOS, and I wanted to walk you down through a couple of the different transactions within the CBOS platform. Also, talk a little bit about configurability of the products and some of our unique features here. I'm going to go ahead and log in, and we do have customized user access. We have complete configurability to each of your users will have their own username and password where they will log into the platform, and you can configure their access level down to the field level on a transaction. So let's say that you want a particular user to be able to create AP invoices, but you don't want them to be able to change the payment terms on that. We can go down to the field and say that's a read-only field that's pulled over from this customer's profile. So that way, whenever they're making a transaction, that you can make that uneditable to a specific user. So we can get that detailed of not only what transactions can a user see within the platform, but even within that particular transaction, what is editable and what's read-only. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and log in as an administrator. Another really cool feature of our platform is our roll-up capability. So let's say you have multiple FEINs within your organization. You can have multiple org structure, and it's very easy for you to go in and let's say you have a bill that comes in for one of your organizations, but you want to share the cost across the board. You would be able to do that within CBOS. You can go and you can designate, okay, this bill is being paid by this particular org, but then I want to distribute the cost on these line items within the actual line items there. So that's one really cool feature as well. I'm gonna log into that to the headquarters. Alright, while we are still on the subject of configurability and what the system allows, I also want to show you this main screen. I've configured a couple of different performance measurements that are really important to me when I log in to the platform every single day. You can go in there and configure multiple different performance measurements, and assign those to the different roles. So whether you be an AP or AR, you're going to want to see different performance measurements every time you log in, and that's definitely something that we can manage within CBOS. And this is kind of set aside from reporting. We most definitely do have reporting as well, but this is just something that performance measurements that you like to see every single day. And then last on the configurability of the product, I'll show you within the invoices here. I'll go into those transactions. Each user has the ability to control how they view information. So I've set up with my user here, I've set up within list view. I like to view invoices in list view. So this is what list view looks like. Has all the transactions listed here, and then I've used this customize button here, and I can go in and I can select, okay, what fields are important to me to view in list view. If I wanted to open in non-grid mode, which would be more of like a detailed view, I can notate that, and what that would do is that would tell the system every time I go into invoices, I want to see this invoice instead of seeing it as a line item here. I want to see this invoice in a much more detailed view, and then you'll notice this is transaction 1 of 306. So you can not only on the header but also on the line level, you can go and you can notate exactly what you want to see, how you want to see it. Each user has that configurability within their own role, and it'll save that. So let's say that the bill location was not necessarily important to me. I can take this column out, or I can sort by that column. So there's a lot of user power within the platform. Alright, so next I'm going to talk about just a couple of different setups. So within the CRM, this is where you would set up your customer profile. All right, now I'll just show you one that I've already configured here. So alternative apparel, I can see instantly. I've set up this, I've customized a couple of important key measurements here that I'd like to see every time that I bring up the customers here. But if I want to go into detail view, I would just simply click on this customer ID, whichever column is listed in blue. That's going to be the column that you're going to click on to go into a much more detailed view of that customer's information. So I have the ability to group customers, and this helps with sorting. Whenever I want to find a specific customer, I can't remember their name, I can always go and sort by business partner groups, also tax groups, and what organization owns that customer. So for right here, I'm logged into headquarter, and that's the organization that quote unquote owns them. I also can keep up with a couple of different identification numbers if that's something, and these are searchable as well. Credit detail, this is where you're going to set up, are they a on-credit customer? Do they pay cash, credit, debit, etc.? What are my payment terms? So for this one, I've got 50% is due immediately, 50% due in 30 days. You can also set up tons of different payment options here. These are all where you can configure them yourself, where you can go in and set up, I get a 5% discount if I pay within 10 days, but it's due net 30 there. And then credit status has to do with what you're going to set their credit limit for. I went and manually changed this back to credit okay, but as the customer's credit goes above their limit, it'll put them on a credit watch. And then if it goes over so far, then it's going to put them on a credit stop where I can't go and create a new order because that customer already has has gone through their entire credit limit there. Also, I can notate different invoices to sales representatives if that's something important to you. We have commission runs that are very easy to use there. And then what pricing does this particular customer get on the products or services that I sell? This is going to be the price that's pulled over into the invoice as I'm creating it. You can always go in and set up the pricing structure where it can be editable. So let's say you typically it pulls over $20 for an hour of service that I provide there, then I can always go and change that there. All right, so that's most of the customer setup. You can also set up multiple different contacts within a customer. So within John Robbins here, I can go in and say, John Robbins is from a particular partner location. So that's something else that you set up within the customer profile. I can keep up with their job title, their birthday, phone number, what notification type do they prefer, etc. Another thing that's really great in the locations tab, this is where you can assign different locations to, are they a ship to address, are they the invoice address, pay from, remit to, etc. So that can help you keep up with, okay, I might have 50 locations for one particular customer. Does only one location get invoices for all of them, or are they all where I would go and send individual invoices to each location? So I can go and configure all of that within the customer profile there. All right, since I'm already on sales and talking about invoices and etc., I'll go and show you a couple of invoices here. Actually, I take that back. I'm gonna go over to products first, so I can show you product setup. All right, so this is going to be in our purchasing database. So products are listed here. Now, a product can be anything. You can see product type here. A product can be an item, a service, a resource, so like an hour of that resource's time, an asset, or an expense type. So you can set up different products for each one of these. So if you have resources and a unit of measurement would be an hour of that resource's time, then you would set that up as a particular product, and when you're going to invoice your customers, that's the line item that you would do, and however many hours are going to be used there. That's where you would set all of this up. All right, now obviously if they are not, if you're not dealing with any kind of inventory items, then there's no inventory that you would need to be maintaining, but we also do have that capability as well, where you store the inventory and the replenishment of that inventory, etc. All right, so now that you've got your products and services set up, going and creating an invoice. This is the invoice screen, and like I said, I prefer to work out of the list view, which is what we're viewing right now, but if you prefer to do work out of a more detailed view, that's definitely a possibility. So I'm going to go and create a new invoice. I'm going to create it for Publix. If I can't remember the customer name, I can always very easily go click on this green dot here. It's going to bring up this pop-up where I can go and search. So if I can remember, John or Mark is my contact name. I can go and search for the contact, and I can say, okay, Mark Smith at Publix. That's right. All right, or if I had their email address. All right. So and what location? I can always select the location here, and then it automatically brings over that payment term. And now if I could change the payment term if needed. If we did if we had a special payment term that was specific to this invoice and we wanted to change that, I could do that as well. All right, so I'm going to jump down to the line detail, and this is where you add in those charges. So I'm going to go in and let's just search for service. Actually, I'm not going to search them. Actually, we can do this. So here's Rajil. This is an hour of his time. And so I would say Rajil's service, and he worked on the project for 4 hours. And the unit of measurement has not been changed over here, but we could put the unit of measurement as hours, and he is charging $8 an hour for a total of $32. All right, and then I've got my standard tax set up here. All right, and then very easily I can either click this Save and Add New to move to the new line item, but also there's a shortcut in your keyboard if you never want to take your hands off your keyboard. You can always go and select Alt-A, and that's going to save that line item and move on to the next. All right, I'm just going to leave that one line item here, and you can see I have one line item for $32 with tax it's $34.24. So one thing about our documents is that we have a drafted document as well as completed. So you'll notice that the document that I've been working here is not posted. It's in drafted status. So when I go in to change that document status, it's going to complete out. And once completed, that's actually going to make the posting, so you can see that now it is posted. If I wanted to go and check exactly what happened within that posting, I can always click on the posted, and it's going to show me, okay, here's the taxes due of $224, and the sales revenue is $32, and then accounts receivable, here's my $34.24. All right. So next, what I'm going to do is bring in a payment for that invoice. So we have multiple different ways that customers can pay their bills. They can either, we have a customer portal where they can log in and actually see their invoices online and pay them. So back on the invoices screen, if you notice this click to pay feature, this is an awesome feature for those repeat customers. They can have their own customer profile and come in here and use the click to pay function. You set up an account with our payment processor, and your customers can come in and pay through a credit card, ACH transaction, or prepaid debit. All right, and you can always save that card or ACH information for further use if you're a customer that comes back, has invoices regularly from you. Instead of having the customers pay online, which would automatically generate this customer payment through that process, I'm going to say, let's say that Publix sent me a check in the mail. So what I'm going to do is come in here and create a new customer payment, and it's going to be from Publix. All right, and via check, And there's two ways to go about this. If it's just paying one invoice, you can always go and notate the invoice here. But if you're paying multiple different invoices, then you would go and allocate that one check into paying multiple different invoices and what amounts are going towards each invoice there. So for this, I'm just going to go in and search my unpaid invoices from Publix. Alright, and let's just do date invoice too. There's a lot. Publix doesn't pay their bills. So let me go and find the exact invoice that I have here. I'll just sort, and here's the one I made today. Alright, so I'll go ahead and select that invoice. It's going to bring over the amount, and I will go ahead and complete out that payment. Alright, now if I wanted to check the posting to make sure everything was allocated correctly, like I said before, I can always go and look at the posting here. Alright, so you can see that I had a check in transfer and 32 account credit here. Alright, so that's on the sales side for invoices and customer payments. We also have the ability to send out all of your statements at once, all of your invoices at once. On the purchasing side, on kind of the flip side of that, of your AP invoices or your bills, we have the same ability, just like you were putting in those invoices, to put in your bills. And vendor payments, if you pay via ACH transaction, that's where you would go and select your vendor payments. But one of the great features here is selecting which bills to pay. So if I'm wondering, okay, what AP invoices are going to be due by next Wednesday, I need to go ahead and cut the checks. So let's look at the invoices that are going to be due at that time, and I can see all my invoices that are due. Now I have a lot here, but I can select which ones I want to set up a check run for. And what it's going to do is it's going to not only put together the vendor payment for you, but it will also set up a check run. Alright, so it says create prepared payments or checks to be paid. And we'll say yes, correct. So what this system is doing right now is I can go and I can look at my vendor payments. I'll see that there was a vendor payment completed on this date on March 1st. So here are, let's see. Oh, you know what? I stated them for the transaction of 3/8. So it put them as the vendor payments on those dates. So here are my two different vendor payments that I have. One is going to Chrome, and you'll notice that Chrome, it does not state the specific invoice because there are two separate invoices from Chrome that I'm paying off here. So on allocations, I'll be able to go here on allocations, and I can see my two invoices that I have that I'm paying against there. So not only did it put together all of my vendor payments for me, but I also have my check run ready. So I'm going to go to print out my checks. I'm going to select that check run that's ready to be printed. Alright, and I will go in here and print this check out. Now what it does, because there's two different vendors, I'll use my check stock, and this is a print format. So right here we have the check above and then my two stubs below. This is the one to Chrome, and it's showing my two AP invoices that I have here, and then there will be one more to test vendor, which is another invoice that I was paying there. So those are kind of your standard financial transactions and how they work within CentralBOS. We also have the ability for on the financial side, this is where you would go and set up your chart of accounts, your bank accounts and credit cards that you're going to be using within the platform. Any foreign currencies, or if there's any kind of exchange rate that you use, that's where you would set this up as well. On the transaction side, this is where if you're not making that entry, whether it be an AP invoice, a a AR invoice, etc. This is where you could go and create a journal entry. Also, we have bank and credit card reconciliation. So we have integration into all the major banks and credit cards. And what that allows you to do is pull down your statement from your bank and reconcile that. So the system will look for transactions that are already within the platform to match up with your statement and match those correctly. I believe it does like a 3-day a 3-day window. So let's say that on February 21st, you put the transaction into Central BOS, but it didn't hit until February 22nd. It's the system automatically grabs those two if they're matching in the total there and reconciles those. And then you can go in and generate the missing transactions from your statement. So go in and match it, and then create the missing transactions that you have there. And then lastly, we have all the reporting. So the ability to go in there and run your open invoices, AR aging reports, open bills, financial reports. These are all configurable depending on how you run your business. We've set up a couple of standard financial reports here. So for the income statement, I can go in and create the report, and there's lots of flexibility in here. So date range, all these parameters. Do I want to run income statement just for one of my organizations, or we also have the ability to build summary orgs. So I'll give you a good example. We have a client that they're a franchise company, and they're a group of brothers, and one brother owns 3 of the organizations, another one owns 4. So what we do is that we have that summary org, we build a summary org for each of the owners, and that way a brother can come in and just see his own financial reports, as well as he can just see his specific, if he wanted to say, okay, I want to see what this one particular store is doing instead of my summary org, he can definitely do that as well. You can also specify a business partner. So a business partner can be a vendor or a customer in our platform. They're called business partners. I know, like in QuickBooks, you have to go and make a dummy account if you buy and sell from the same customer or vendor there. Within Central BOS, they're all labeled as a business partner, and you can notate whether they are a customer or a vendor, or whether they're both. You also can do on product, project, sales region, or campaign. So those are just a couple of different parameters there that I have to go in and run my financial reports. All right, and this is just like I said, this is a print format. I've got my print format pretty simplified here for me to run my income statement. And that's a quick overview of the Central BOS platform and some of the financials and reporting and the configurability that we have for you guys. Thanks.